Yo, what up, Preach Christ or Die? Mike Todd. Hey, I made a video a couple days ago. I made two. One talking about, talking about the importance of pastors and why a lot of people shouldn't be pastors, because the Bible talks about what the pastor should be like, his conduct and things like that, and how it's such an important role that a lot of people should not be them because they think that it sounds good and they get saved and like, oh, I want to teach, and they want to be a pastor. But the responsibilities for a pastor is so big that you end up getting people like Mike Todd. See, this is the problem with being a young pastor, is that you're not even fully mature yet as a man. You're still doing these foolish things. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man is taking pictures with his wife, showing his wife all this foolishness, knowing the weakness of men to begin with. And if a man was to ever approach his wife because he's been showing her off like that, almost naked in himself, he's gonna want to kick the man out the church. But as the man that's leading a flock of believers, that is not how you roll. And look, bro, I know I'm not fit to be a pastor because of how I don't think I'm mature enough. But there's certain things that you do in private that you would never do in the public because you don't want to shame God. Even things that you're weak at, you're like, man, I can't. I'm so embarrassed of how I am with this that I can never do this in public. Either that man doesn't have the discernment to just keep that in, or he's just very arrogant or ignorant of God. Like, no fear of God at all. Like, to be a pastor is such a responsibility, man. Like, it says don't even have the appearance of sin around you. And people wonder why I'm like, man, because John MacArthur's old now. And they're like, oh man, like he needs to retire, he needs to do this. Look, bro, we're gonna miss people like John MacArthur. Look at what we got right now. Look at what we got right now. And I know that God will build his church. God will, but the thing is this. We don't know if God's going to let, for a time being, the saints go to some whack weak pastors. To be led by some whack weak pastors. Because that's what we have right now. We have some good ones. But a lot of our good ones are older ones. Man, show me some young good pastors out there. Young good pastors. There's not, I can't think of none. Young? I mean, they got people like, what's the guy that's the Calvinist pastor? D. Young. I think he's okay. He's solid. Because you know what? This is the thing. And when you hear people get saved, they're like, oh man, I don't feel nothing at that church. I like going to your boys' church because I like how it makes me feel. You see, they just want to be filled. They just want to have itching ears. That's why Mike Todd is so good with people like that. Because he just goes for the itching ears. He makes them feel a certain way. Because it's all about emotion. It's all about being silly. But the Bible says that don't let a lot of us become teachers because you will be held to a stricter judgment. Brother, you ought to know better than to act a certain way. I mean, Alan Paul said something how Alan Paul said, oh, now we should be telling people that he is not to be trusted biblically. Now? Bro, this dude been showing signs of this foolishness since the beginning. The spitting on people, the silly sermons, the not teaching right at all. Like, the man's teaching ain't lining up with the Bible at all. And now you say, come on, man. Alan Paul is I like Alan Paul. I don't agree with everything he does. He's a good teacher of the Bible. But to say that you just now saying that he should not be trusted. That man shouldn't have been trusted. He should have never been able to be a pastor. And how is he don't have people around him telling him, bro, that's not the way this ain't a good look. But I pray to God that God will raise up some young pastors that's gonna take the mantle and be able to be strong, because that like MacArthur, I know I keep bringing him up, but hey, he was on the forefront of a lot of battles, and he stood for Christ against a lot of ungodliness out there. He went against, like just recently, he went against the mayor of California or the governor, one of the two. But yeah, man, preach Christ or die.